Hello everyone, today I will show you 5 proofs that the water boss already exists in Melon Playground. Yes, you heard right. And if you watch this video to the end, you will see for yourself that the appearance of the water boss is not just a fan theory, but really part of a future update. But before you start, there is an important point. Do not turn off the video, because the strongest proof will be at the end. Okay, let's get started. The first proof is the new physics in Update 33.0. If you played carefully after the update, you might have noticed that now water and liquids react to cuts in a completely different way. This is especially evident if you cut an NPC or an object standing in the water, and the surface begins to wobble and move in a different way. This means that the developers are already preparing the basis for the water content. They test how objects move and how the effects of incision work in a liquid medium. That is, in fact, ocean physics has already been added, but it has not yet been fully activated. The second proof is hints in the descriptions of the game files. I personally opened the structure of Update 33.0 and noticed that in some textures and codes the word aqua is mentioned, aquatic or marine. There was nothing like this before, but now these lines occur several times. This may be a blank for the endless ocean map, but some community players already believe that this is related specifically to the water boss, because in the code next to aquatic there are the words spawn and attack pattern. And if you are at least a little familiar with the game, you know that attack pattern is a designation that was previously used only for bosses. And now the third proof, and it's as strange as possible. If you remember when Pumpkin Boss 1 and 2 first appeared in the game, then before their release, similar lines with boss pattern and spawn effect were also found in the files. And now the same thing is happening again. That is, the story literally follows the same scenario. At the time, everyone thought it was just test data, but a week later, Pumpkin Boss 1 and 2 appeared. And now the same thing is happening, only instead of autumn effects, ocean wave and bubble light are mentioned. A coincidence? I don't think so. And now, the most interesting thing is why I'm sure that the water boss already exists. It just can't be called yet. Take a close look at the Dark Forest map. After the 33.0 update, a slight blue tint appears at the bottom of the screen on some devices, like a reflection of water. And this, guys, is not a graphics bug. This is already a visual hint of the approximation of the water content. The developers do this on purpose to whet interest, but not to disclose everything at once. They did the same thing before the Pumpkin event, when the shadows of the bosses started appearing in the files even before the release. So yes, everything adds up to one chain. New physics that gives new water effects, the mention of aquaspawn, and visual hints in locations. This means that the water boss has already been added, but it is currently blocked until version 34.0 is released. The fourth proof is the changes in the code and logic of the game. After the release of Update 33.0, many players noticed that there were mentions of new underwater effects inside the files, although the endless ocean map itself is not yet in the game. This hints that the developers are already preparing the system for underwater. For example, they have changed the particle physics, added new tags to characters like underwater, pressure, and oxygen. And here's the most interesting thing: from the list of effects there is a line ocean boss trigger. It is inactive for now, but the fact that it is already present speaks volumes. Most likely, this is a blank for the event where the water boss will appear for the first time, and it is endless ocean that will become the arena for fighting him. So far, this is just a theory, but the community is already discussing that the appearance of this trigger coincides with the moment when they started testing new mechanics for Energy Saber and Blade Launcher, which means that the developers could already be testing underwater combat. I formulate the fifth proof as a reflection on what rewards it is logical to give for defeating such a boss and why exactly these awards indicate the reality of the event itself. I'm not saying that something is already in the code, and I'm not saying that the players have noticed something. I'm just building a few realistic hypotheses about rewards and mechanics that, from the experience of other events, seem most plausible to me. Firstly, if the developers want to make the boss significant to the entire community, then it is logical to give a reward that cannot be obtained by simple farming, but only by passing this particular event. It seems to me that the most likely type of reward is a unique item that changes gameplay, not just a skin. Why? Because previously, the loudest events gave away things that really affect the game. In our case, the underwater boss could give you an item like Pumpkin Core or Ocean Heart, not just a thing for appearance, but a resource or module that can be used in nanoassembler or in new mechanisms. Such an item can be a consumable for creating rare mods or upgrades for Energy Saber and Blade Launcher. This would explain why they added a new cutting mechanic node. In order to give players a causal relationship later, they learned how to cut. They got the opportunity to get materials from the boss and craft cool things from them. Secondly, there is a high probability that the reward will be account-bound and rare. I expect it to be either a trophy for the collection or unique cosmetics with a functional bonus of, for example, a helmet or mask that gives a small buff in the water, or an effect that allows you to breathe longer underwater. Such a reward motivates players to return to the event and participate in collective attempts, but it does not completely break the balance. This is a typical reward for a boss event. It looks cool and gives you a slight advantage in a specific environment. My third guess is the achievement and the global metric. For defeating a huge underwater boss, it is logical to give a unique achievement with progress for the global leaderboard. This may not just be a beat the boss checkmark, but a series of achievements: defeat the boss solo, win in a cooperative, pass without loss, etc. Such achievements create a long life of content and stimulate entertainment for YouTube challenges, records, guides. If developers want hype, they will give it exactly that. The fourth hypothesis is more interesting and a little risky, that the reward is in the form of a seed or an unlockable area of the map. Defeating the boss opens a rare seed, which generates ruins, chests, and rare recipes. This would allow combining the idea of the boss with the idea of procedural seeds on Endless Ocean, and would give a real reward logic. Players not only received an item, they got access to a new area with content. This approach works great to maintain interest. People will come back, download the database, and explore new sites. The fifth guess is related to sociality and transparency. Developers like to give a few live rewards that are visible to everyone, a special plaque and title in the profile of Abyss Slayer or Ocean Conqueror, and a visual effect next to the nickname in the lobby. This provides social proof and cool material for music videos and shorts. These are the kinds of things that boost viewings. So there will probably be a title plus logo in the profile. Finally, another thought is temporary rewards and the evolution of content. Perhaps the first boss opening will give you a temporary event mode with unique mods or location changes. That is, while the awakening period of the boss lasts, new objects and small Easter eggs appear on the maps, which then disappear. But those who participated receive small evidence of participation, achievements, chests, unique maps. This creates the effect of a unique moment that will fuel discussion in the community. To sum up, I'm not saying that such awards already exist. I'm saying that it's logical to expect exactly these types of rewards if the water boss actually appears. The first is a functional resource, a module pumpkin core Goshen heart for crafting. The second is a rare cosmetics underwater buff. The third is a complex system of achievements and leaderboards. The fourth is unblocking seeds or zones. The fifth is the title and visible signature in the profile, plus temporary events. All these are real and simple things that developers usually use to make a boss event meaningful and long-lasting.